Vice Principal Ma'am, Headmistress Ma'am, and all the prefectorial board. Future was already uncertain, and this pandemic has increased the uncertainties. First of all, I would like to ask Alok whether he would like to speak first. Is there any?
No, it's okay. You go ahead. You go ahead. Then we'll give him also a chance.
Alok, I would like to discuss the qualities that the students need to have in order to get employed in the future. Starting with the first one. The first one is adaptability and flexibility. Even before the pandemic, the world was changing, but this pandemic has accelerated the change. Now it would be more challenging for students because now they don't need to only gain the skills, they need to refresh it, update it, mold it. They need to change themselves according to the evolving workplace. For example, earlier I believe there was just 3 sticks on the wrist and the students were online. But now we have come up with more modern methods like defaulter slip or other punishments. Earlier there was like only lecturing, but now we have come up with more modern strategies like flip teaching and questionnaires and enactments. So making the students flexible and adaptable to situations is very important. Simply, the way workplace is changing, the worker needs to change. This, I think, is the first skill.
Yeah, Alok, you want to add on to that? She said refresh, update, and of course mold yourself. So you want to add on to that, Alok?
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, good evening,
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, very clear.
I mean, my mistake.
It's okay.
Just told me that I am audible. I'm sorry. So Tanvi made a very good point here. Adaptability and the students should mold. I would also like to add confidence and to have that ability to take on any problem that they face. Basically, what I want to say here is, before the pandemic, normal we had tests, we had many interactions with teachers regarding speaking on topics or some questions being asked out of the box questions which we had to think as a group and as individuals also. But even up in the pandemic, now students are thinking that they are being overburdened by tests. They have to attend so many classes and they have so much stuff going on at once. They're not thinking that this was happening before also, but it's what's happening now in their home right now. They're thinking that they're being invaded in their personal time also. There's nothing like that. The time which they were allotted, they should be working according to that right now. I think the time that the school was open was for 6 hours total, but now it's even less and it's even more comfortable for them to attend it. It's even easier for them to attend it. So to think this in a positive way, to think that it's not bad is actually much better for them to do is, I think, what's important for students to learn.
Well said, Alok. Very well said. So you said that in the comfort of our own premises where we are being guided and we are being told what to go about and how physical activity. We are not doing any mental, we are doing a lot of mental thing, but then what about our mental well-being? Because we had our friends to share our ideas, we had our games, grounds to, release our energies. So what about our physical and mental well-being? So I'll ask Jigisha to come in. Jigisha, can you please tell me that what kind of physical and mental well-being we should be having and how we can guide the children?
Yes, ma'am. So first of all, a high-spirited evening to our Honorable Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, Headmistress Ma'am, and the students panel. Today, we all have gathered here to discuss on certain agendas considering our current condition amidst the pandemic and the motive of spreading education and knowledge to reach every curious mind out there. So today, me and my co-speaker Sahil are going to enlighten you with some knowledge about how to keep your physical and mental health fit as a flea. Times are tough and the going gets tougher, so it is highly imperative to make sure that a sound mind resides in a sound body amid this lockdown period. This stay-at-home period can be called as a blessing in disguise, and we can make the most out of this time by taking good care of our mind and body. So if I would like to ask my co-speaker Sahil if he is here to tell us something about the physical
Yeah, thank you,
well-being.
Jigisha.
Yeah. And what are the
I would like
physical,
to,
Sahil, what are the physical activities you feel that we should be doing so that, our mental well-being is perfectly all right? Yeah, please go ahead.
yes, ma'am, as I'm associated with the sports side and I'm itself a sports person, so I would like to speak on the first and the very ancient Indian practice, that is practicing yoga and of course exercises. I would like to say that it's very important to keep our body active during this stay at the home period. So exercising and yoga can help keep the body active. If it's allowed to take walks in an area, do that, or otherwise the internet and watch videos and workout sessions at home and follow. If
Okay.
you can, if you cannot do that, help your mother and father with the household chores, since they require a lot of stamina too. Broom and mop the house, do the dishes, help the cleaning of the home, and keep our blood circulation A1.
Okay.
Ma'am, also, actually, I was not associated, and I would never had a spec on my eye. So, since these online classes are putting a lot of burden on our eyes, and we are having hallucinations in our eyes and problems faced. So, I would like to also add in also in yogic practices, we can also practice yoga of eye axis. We can practice eye axis as well. We can, for example, a simple exercise, we can set a normal image or a point far away which is around 25 meters away from us, and we can focus on it, and then again focus back to a point which is near to us around 1 meter, and this way we can keep doing this activity for around 5 minutes, so it will be very beneficial for our eyes. Also,
Okay.
I would like to tell that eating healthy food and maintaining regular meal patterns and a regular and proper and a healthy body weight is very important. For that, we can use the following diet plan: is a vital high protein and carbs diet that can get ourselves going. Skipping meals is that people generally do these in this quarantine period. So I think it is not very beneficial. We can exercise to burn the fat and the carbs, but skipping meal is not a very good idea as it weakens the immune system also. In
Okay.
this pandemic, especially COVID-19, it is the survival of the fittest, according to me. So if we don't have a good immune system and we are even skipping the meals, so that will not help us. That will severe our problem and affect us in a negative way. So
Okay.
also we should get enough sleep, as we know that we our eyes are also weary, and we are having around 3 to 4 hours of school classes, and with that added 3 to 4 hours of tuition classes online. So we should get enough sleep of around 7 to 9 hours a day,
Mhm.
and also it will be very beneficial for our immune system too if we get enough sleep. And also the last and the most important, we should set a proper routine. We should make a timetable as we did. That's not a new thing or the indifferent thing I'm speaking. Like it is very common thing. We should set a timetable and a proper routine. We should fix our study time according to the our daily timings and all. Up health
Okay,
and
sir.
exercise timing also. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Thank you very
Sahil.
much.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Sahil. Yeah, spoke very well, and you talked about schedule. You must be missing school quite a lot, I know, because you're missing the
Yes, ma'am.
ring of the bell to tell you that the period has changed, and now this is what you're supposed to do. And of course, you talked about a lot of screen time. Yes, that is happening, and there are so many exercises to soothe your eyes and to soothe yourself. So we have to follow that, of course, and I agree with you totally that it is a testing time, and we all have to understand how good this time is for what are the goods in this time also, and of course a diet control, a healthy diet is very important. So that takes me to the next point. That takes me
Ma'am,
to, yes, Jigisha.
Ma'am, I want to talk about mental health being as well because
Okay.
since we are keeping care of our bodies, we are trying to keep our bodies healthy. Let's give some time to our brain too.
Yeah.
So, because these two entities work together and they have an interdependent relationship. So,
Okay.
here are a few tips that I would like to give to keep your mind healthy.
Quickly.
First is practice mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is a practice of being aware of what's going on around you and inside your head. Bring your attention to your present state of mind and think about your feelings, introspect and know how you feel in the moment. Addressing your emotions actually helps to deal with a lot of situations like these better. Now, second point is that finding new hobbies. The best way to deal with this stressful time is to distract yourself by finding a new hobby. This time is the best time to inculcate new abilities and learn new things that you usually could not learn because of your busy schedule.
Okay.
So let your mind explore new horizons and be creative. For example, you can learn cooking, painting, reading books, and develop new skills. Learn a new language from the internet and keep your mind busy.
Okay,
Third
good,
point
good.
is that meditation and peace of mind exercises. In leisure, focus on your chakras and fixate your mind at one place. Put some soul healing music and concentrate on your mind. Say Om for 10 seconds, 20 to 30 times every day for half an hour. And it can, I understand that it can get irritating at first, but you will get a hang of it if your mind will be, and your mind will be in a better place, and a clean and fresh brain with a positive aura around the body will bring you peace and equilibrium.
Very good, Jigisha. Well said, yeah. Well
the
said.
most
I will not be able to give you much time because there are other speakers
Okay,
also.
ma'am. Sure.
Very well said, very well said. We should be mindful, we should introspect, and of course practice a lot of yoga. Be in touch with Raju sir, he'll be able to guide you all the more. Okay, because this is what the pedagogy in our school also is, to keep you calm and make you understand what is in store for your body. Of course, then this takes us to the next point, that there are so many things which are happening around us. What will happen post-COVID era? So I would like to ask Vidushi that what is her opinion about post-COVID era protocols which we should be taking? Yes, Vidushi. Go ahead.
You have to unmute yourself.
Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. We can't hear you, Vidushi. You have to unmute.
Unmute.
Oh, I think she got disconnected.
Yeah. Then can I give it to Maisha? We can give it to Maisha. Maisha is around.
Maisha,
Yes, ma'am.
Vidushi is back.
I'm not. Yes,
Switch on your video also. Switch on your video also. And Vidushi is also returned by the
No, Vidushi is there. Let Vidushi speak first.
Okay.
So a very good evening to everyone present here. Today we have joined together to discuss about some of the most pressing issue, one of the most pressing issue of 21st century of 2020. And I would like to talk about the post-COVID era protocols, the exit strategies, the suggestions, and the apprehensions that we can, employ as a school to move out of this better. In this pandemic-ridden era that has managed to immobilize the world and has compelled people, nations to live in fear of a deadly virus, one of the most terrible impacts witnessed have been endured by the education system all over the world. Governments in all the countries across the globe have been striving to come up with exit protocols to help their countries make a smooth transition from the quarantined life to the one post this COVID era. An appraisal of the situation, the critical considerations, and practical checklists to keep schools safe have been devised in adherence to the guidance protocols issued by the International Federation of the Red Cross, IRFC, UNICEF, and World Health Organization. So, to come up with solutions, we would be able to view this crisis as a catalyst for change. Schools, they won't return to their original status quo as before. Everything from curriculum to operations and maintenance, everything may need to adapt a new normal. So I'd like to throw some light on some of the key points that have been mentioned in these guidelines. First of all, we need to acknowledge the fact that even if the lockdown is uplifted, parents, teachers, and students are initially going to be reluctant to send their wards to school, which is, irrespective to the respective educational institutions, schools, campuses, which is very normal, which accounts for a very natural concern that all of us as individuals share in today's time. We need to first make sure that children and their families, they remain protected and informed as well about the decisions and the measures that the schools are going to take. This guideline, it calls for providing children with information about how to protect themselves, promoting best hand washing and hygiene practices, providing hygiene supplies, cleaning and disinfecting school buildings, especially water and sanitation facilities. This, ma'am, this was the phase 1. Now we move on to the phase 2. Once a mutual trust is ensured by the parents and the school authority that schools can now become a safe place for education, phase 2 needs to come into action that involves implementing certain de-densifying protocols. For this, there are various measures that can be employed. One of the key factors in all of those measures need to be social distancing, different seating arrangements, alternate day approach, staggered reopening for dates for different classes. Most preferably, opening of school should be for the secondary and senior secondary classes, and for the grades below 8th, we could tweak the calendar, vacation calendar for them, and they could engage in more online mode of learning. It also provides guidelines for training staff, cleaning and sanitizing the area, installment of sanitizer dispensers at every entry and exit points. Wearing face masks, they need to be made compulsory. The schools can keep extra stock in case a kid or staff they forget to wear one. The guidelines, they also strongly recommend that the school members, the members of the admin team, they conduct the sanitization process prior to school reopening and also have a pilot run. This will ensure, this will give us a rough idea as to how these guidelines and if they will be effective or not. For grades below 8th, the traditional style of schooling will have to be replaced by the globally accepted mode of online learning, which has already been enumerated enough by Kavya as well. Also, ma'am, in my opinion, reopening the school for primary and middle wing schools, middle wing classes, just yet might not be the best idea because there are going to be a lot of newfound responsibilities for the children, and it is naturally going to be very difficult for them to handle those responsibilities with the utmost care that it needs to be handled with.
Okay.
Lastly, ma'am, I would just like to close this, ma'am. I would like to just close this. The world in the past has been a victim of a global pandemic. I mean, it's not the first time the world is going through this and has successfully come out of it as well. Research and insight have shown that in schools in Taiwan, Shanghai, other Chinese cities, they're slowly experiencing the next step in the process of coping and recovering, that is going back to school. Maintaining safe school operations or reopening schools after a closure, it requires many considerations, but if done well, they can promote health. Promote public health as well. Gaining an inspiration from motivation from all of these areas with the employment of comprehensive and responsive exit strategies such as the ones mentioned above, we will too be able to come out of this bigger, better, and stronger. With this, I respect. Thank you.
Okay, very well said, Jigisha. Very well said.
Vidushi.
Vidushi, very well said. Yeah. I just want to ask Myra if she wants to add something to it. Myra, if you're there, you can add something to it.
Yes,
Myra first.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Few suggestions for teaching learning in post-lockdown. So, good evening to Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, and Mistress Ma'am, all the in charges. Greetings to all. I would like to start with a phrase which Subramanya Bharati has said in the poem Wind. We tend to be weaklings. We get blown away. We get firm, let the wind be our friend. Corona is a phase like other phases. It will pass away, and like it is said, the world will again be running at a pace like it never stopped. So, we should be mentally and physically strong. Now, coming to the point, with the help of teachers' guidance and discussion with my fellow mates, I have also written down some points which I would like to read out. Ma'am, may I speak?
Yeah, quickly. One or two I can take from you, rest I will take from Advik then.
Blended learning should be the mantra, that is, learning and teaching both online and offline platforms. Teachers can move content online and precious classroom time can be used for discussions and guided practice. Strict social distancing measures should be implemented to slow down the spread of this highly contagious
Vidushi has
disease.
already spoken about it, yeah. Vidushi has already spoken about these points, yeah, go ahead.
And to limit the number of students, classes may run in 2 4-hour shifts. For implementing social distancing practices, I would like to suggest following points. Cancelling assemblies, sports games, and other events that create crowded conditions. Create space between children's desks at least 1 meter apart. Teach students to avoid unnecessary touching, especially in primary classes. Student council, along with the class prefects, can form a committee to keep a vigilant check on social distancing measures, cleaning and sanitizing classrooms and areas where children converge regularly. We can increase the number of medical staffs and counselors to spread awareness among the students. We can also plan a new school calendar where even with large gatherings of students, parents is avoided. That is sports day, annual day and parent-teacher meeting. Now, rest of the points Junior Head Boy Advil will continue. Over to Advil. Thank you everyone.
Yes, very good, very good. So we will not be able to see all of you beautiful children dancing. So Advik, what is your opinion about it? Yes, Advik, unmute yourself. Unmute yourself, please. Advik, quickly unmute yourself, otherwise I'll go to Maisha.
Rachita, can you unmute him?
Somebody should help him. Yeah, he's not able to unmute himself.
Meeting.
Maisha, you can come in by then until he's Maisha. May I request you to come in, please? Yeah, yes. Yes.
First of all, good evening, Principal Ma'am, Vice Principal Ma'am, Headmistress Ma'am, and all my Student Council members. So, Ma'am, talking about the protocols which Vidushi said, first of all, the main protocol would be social distancing. And I totally agree with the Vidushi's point of not opening school for the primary school, ma'am, because social distancing following for them will be challenging. And handling them will be a tough work for the school premises. Secondly, the protocols have to ensure that the students at home learn in tandem with those in the classroom, because as suggested by the HRD minister, only 30% of the classroom will be allowed to come into attendance. Then we will have to avoid all the parent-teacher meeting, our assemblies,
she's
and
already
our annual functions.
Yeah.
And ma'am, also
so Anna has
after this
already told us.
time,
Yeah. Any important new point you have?
yes, ma'am, I wanted to say, ma'am, our school will be wanting and hiring new nurses and counselors, because after this pandemic, the students will not be into the normal phase or what they expected their schooling years to be. They won't be able to be more friendly with them.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, yeah, very well said, all of you. Okay, so your opinion, Advik? The points which they have already said, let's not repeat them. Just quickly, what is your opinion about it? Yes, Advik.
First of all, a very good evening to the respected principal ma'am, in charges, and the student council. So, the school display boards can have pictorial depictions and slogans that sensitize students on basic cleanliness and hygiene, such as washing hands and maintaining social distancing. Students should carry their own alcohol drum, hand sanitizer or chlorine solution, face masks and gloves. It should be made mandatory. Without these essentials, students should not be allowed to enter the premises. No canteen facility should be allowed to any member of the school. Sharing of cups, eating utensils, food or drinks with others should be prohibited. Parents as well as teachers should monitor child's health, and in case a student is unwell, he or she should be kept at home. As a responsible student of the school, I can educate students not to stigmatize peers or tease anyone about being sick, as the virus doesn't follow geographical boundaries, age, or gender. And lastly, school can enforce disinfection and cleaning of school surfaces as well as school buses. Thank you, ma'am.
Very well said. So all these things you people have given us wonderful inputs to how to go about and how post-COVID we should be having all these protocols. I really appreciate that. But then Gorisha, I would like to ask you, what should be the role of the parents, the management, the principal, the teachers, the students, anybody? Gorisha, can you come in please? Unmute yourself.
Good evening, ma'am. I hope everyone out there is safe. I'd like to start with something my mom always used to tell me, that अच्छी चीजें हम किसी से भी सीख सकते हैं, फिर चाहे वो प्रकृति हो या हमसे उम्र में कोई छोटा. You all are the teachers, the management, the principal, you're all my elders. I can only tell you about, I can only suggest you what steps you can take because you are our own mentors and we have no like right to tell you what to do because you guide us. I'd like to start with the role of management and the principal. The management and the principal, after the school reopens after the COVID era, they can take steps such as finding out innovative ways so that social distancing, which is the key preventive method to prevent the spread of coronavirus, to be followed within a class of 40 students, because that is the major hindrance which we are facing at this moment. And yes, enforcement of particular rules and regulations which should be followed out by everyone, including the students and the staff of the school, providing proper water facility, sanitation facility, and waste management facilities to the children.
Okay.
On the other hand, the school principal as a head can take the role of reinforcing the laws, making sure that everyone follows them, awareing the students about how if this coronavirus spreads, it can be very deadly. And yes, of course, practicing drills to handle any impromptu medical emergency in the school. On the other hand, teachers, which are always there with the students, must try to communicate with the students if they are having any physical problem, mental problem, so that the students can share with the teachers and all. And of course, since they are in the class with us, they should make sure that proper sanitation is being there, social distancing is being followed, and ways like that.
Okay.
The key role is played by the parents and the students. We are in the 12th class. We are the most seniors of our school, and being the seniors, we have this duty to guide our juniors as well. Like I would like to suggest, like we as seniors, as the members of the student council, can take small sessions of every class once, so that there are some things that students can't really share with the teachers, but if they want, they can share with us. It will create a good bonding between everyone.
Well said,
and
Garisha.
yes, we can come out with more ideas to cope up with the situation.
Well said, well said. We have time crunch also. Shuchita will keep guiding us how much time is left. I will ask Anjul if he agrees with Garisha. Anjul is there?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening to the management committee of
she.
our school present here.
Oh, my darling Anjulu. Okay. Yes. Yeah, go ahead,
So
darling.
first of all, I would like to wish a very good evening to the management
Good evening,
committee
quickly.
of our school present here.
Yeah.
So
You
today
agree with
Anjul,
Garisha?
Yes, ma'am, I do agree with Garisha, ma'am, but also I would like to add some points which came into my mind. So, ma'am, during these testing times, a role reversal can be observed between the parents and teachers. So parents can really reduce by coordinating with the teachers and having a good communication. There should be a good communication between teachers and parents. At the same time, teachers also need to be well versed with the technology for smooth delivery of lectures and lessons. Also to avoid any extra wasting of time. I talked to many of my schoolmates. What problems I heard from them were extra stretching of classes. So this extra stretching of classes can be prevented or can be avoided by using a feature called time limit, which I think is used in junior classes, as I saw in my brother's Zoom Cloud app sessions. But I think they are not there in the Microsoft Teams, which the senior classes are getting the classes on. So, and ma'am, next I would like to add that the test timings should be in the class timings itself, or they should be on the permanent time allotted to the test, so that ma'am, that atmosphere of classroom can be maintained even on the online sessions as well. Ma'am, then coming to the part of management, I would like to suggest that the fees, ma'am, fees payment options, ma'am, even today we have many parents, those who are not well introduced to the net banking system. So some alternative may be suggested for them also. And ma'am, last but not the least, ma'am, for ensuring 100% attendance and coordination from students, cooperation from students, ma'am, we can also give them some counseling sessions to increase their or to boost their inspirations or boost their interest to create the interest. Thank you, ma'am.
Well said, very well said, Anju. Some very valuable points put in. You and Girish has given us Garisha has given us an outline of what is to be done. But then I would like to ask Alok. Alok, all this, whatever we are talking about, is online. So this COVID has brought us to the teachers are online, everything is online. So where is the safety part of it? Alok, if you can unmute yourself and switch on your mute. So where is the safety point of guidelines which we should be following, or is it possible to have some guidelines? Because then if you, once you finish, I will request Anjali ma'am also to give in her inputs. Yes, once you speak, Alok, Yash will also join you. Yes. So quickly, I want you to give me 2-3 points.
Thank you, ma'am. So if we look at the safety, the major part is choosing a correct platform, because the first thing that was chosen as the primary platform was Zoom, which later turned out to be dangerous. There were some leaks that we came to know about later. So firstly, we should choose a platform which has a good history, which has a good reputation, and is something that we can trust. For example, Google Teams, it is owned by Google. It is a very reputable company, and we can trust it. So I really appreciate that we have switched over to a more trustworthy platform. I would also recommend everyone to make sure that on their side, no personal information is being given out to any person. For example, joining other people for example, tuitions, for personal talks. Don't just give away your information to them like it's anything. We should be careful, and everything that the security point of view has to be taken care of by ourselves also. It's not just the platform.
Okay, well said, very well said. Yash, can you give us some inputs on that?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
I would just like to add a few points of what Alok said. The first one is don't talk to strangers on internet. And according to facts, the age group which is the most affected by cyberbullying is between 10 to 12 years. So I would just like to suggest them that don't give any name, address, or any personal details unless it is a trusted site. Also, I would like to just add a few more points by saying that don't visit a chat room without an adult's permission, and don't fill in the profile that asks your name and address. And also, I would like to say that if you have any questions about something you read, you must ask your parents or guardians, and also not to download or install anything on a computer without your parents' permission. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well said, well said. We have to be very, very careful, and no personal information should be given. Don't visit any unknown chats, or don't give your details or OTPs to any person who is not known to you. Of course, very valuable points, and we all have to be, we have to safeguard our privacy as well. Anjali ma'am, would you like to add anything to it, whatever these children have said?
Right. Good evening, everyone. It's really heartening to see the children who have read up so many things about the current situations, and they're willing to work hard and give us the suggestions. So many of the suggestions have been given, very valid suggestions given by Alok and Yash. Something that I would like to add is that we can't dismiss the possibility of cyberbullying, which is very common, especially common in social media. So the children, especially elder children who are using Instagram and all, even something negative said about you on Instagram, it is a part of cyberbullying. Something that is being said, supported by your classmates, which makes you feel bad, that is also cyberbullying. So bullying is not only something that can happen in the classroom. So wherever you are faced with such a situation, it's always better to take outside help. And in current situation, you should refrain from so much of use of social media also. Apart from that, another very important point is of passive screen time. Okay, active screen time is when you are attending classes or doing the work online. Apart from that, when you use the screen time for your entertainment, for video games, for watching any kind of content on web, you should always reduce that, because a lot of pressure is being put on your eyes. So I'm not saying nothing should be done for entertainment, but then it has to be curbed. It has to be shifted to the physical side, like many of your colleagues have suggested. Do yoga, do eye exercises, spend time with your family. So all those things we have to do. Apart from that, the CBSE has also come up with a large amount of data on this. So I'm compiling a presentation based on that. What I would expect from you is we will give you that presentation, and you as representatives of students can pass it on among your classmates, among all your friends, so that coming from you, they will also appreciate that, and the concerns can also be communicated in a proper basic delineated manner. So you all have to be the agents of passing this information. So I'll definitely pass it on to you, and you can convince your friends to follow the same.
Yeah, well said, ma'am. Yeah, we have to safeguard the privacy and, of course, the security of each and every child of ours. In my list of children, those who are supposed to speak, Yashika is the only one who's left. Yashika, if you're there, I would like you to express your feelings. Are you there, Yashika? Unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Share your ideas because you could not speak much at that time. Yes. I'll just give it 2 minutes more.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. First of all, good evening to everyone. As we know that the current COVID-19 crisis had brought the world to a standstill within a matter of weeks. And now it is in everyone's mind that how are we going to deal with this unpredictable cause. And at this time, when the whole world is suffering from so many problems, there also a huge challenge in front of the educational institutions as well.
Why
So
your
in
video is not on? Just a minute. Why your video is not on, my dear? I can't see you anywhere, Yashika. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, please go ahead.
So in the due course of time during this lockdown, we have faced a lot of challenges and changes in our lives. And one such challenge witnessed by us is the use of online learning. So first of all, first we need to know that what blended learning means. Actually, it is an approach to education that combines online education material and opportunities with the traditional place-based classroom methods. And according to me, it is very important to break down the traditional walls of teaching and experience a new way of learning at this time of the pandemic that we all are suffering from. It's a very new experience of learning for both the students as well as the teachers, as it promotes deeper learning, also helps in reducing stress, increases students' satisfaction, and even helps teachers to become more engaged with the students. With this new use of technology and mixing up the group work styles, also importantly keeping the old traditional methods of the classroom intact. Also, it can be made more effective if participants work together, engage in discussions, and provide useful feedbacks. And all this just needs a proper guidance of the faculty and a great understanding level between the students, and to use this wisely and avoid any kind of misuse on the e-learning apps, which leads to any kind of chaos and disturbances in the classes. At last, I would like to say that even during this COVID crisis, we are having the best use of technology and using the e-learning techniques and apps very nicely. And yet again, the human race has proved that we are not going to stop anyways, and we all will keep on contributing our part to the development. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, of course, these are very testing times for all of us, and definitely we will come out winners in this also. This is the spirit of our school motto also, Anushasan, Shram or Atmabal. In तीनों चीजों से we can overcome any kind of issues which we have. All of you spoke very well and you spoke from heart. I hope that I covered everybody, each one of you, those who were there. Anybody who is left can just unmute and ask me to speak or say a few words if they want to. But according to me, the list which was given to me, everybody has spoken. I'll request our principal, Dr. Rajian Kumar, if she's there. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, I am there.
Yeah, ma'am, to summarize and encourage the children because they spoke so well. They spoke so well.
Very nice. So, good evening, all the children, the faculty, our moderator, Ms. Satinder Kaur, our Vice Principal, Anjali Kharmanda ma'am. It's amazing to see the children speaking so much. They had some wonderful ideas amidst this kind of situation. It's a situation which is unprecedented, and it is whole world is suffering. 200 countries are suffering, and 90% of the children are at home. You can understand this kind of situation has not been seen in our age, in our era. So when we look forward, we should not think negative. COVID-19 has proved that we can face the challenges. These are just challenges, children, and these challenges, opportunities will come along with the challenges. So what are the opportunities we'll get out of it? We, as some child has spoken, that we can learn new skills. Like I myself, I was not very computer savvy, but now I am a member in various webinars, as a panel speaker, as a member of CBSE, meetings. Everywhere I am able to participate. I'm learning new things every day. It's so wonderful to see that these ideas can be learned just sitting at home. You don't need to go to various places. You don't need to fly internationally or nationally to go for various workshops, because we used to do this. We used to go to various schools. We used to go for meetings in CBSE. But now at home only I'm learning new things. So this is a positive thing what we have learned. And then our teachers are entering your houses to teach the concept. The concepts are made clear, and of course the learning outcomes have to be kept in mind. So these are the positive things which are happening. Then we had, in fact, classes 1 to class 8, rather 9, they had party online. The day 22nd was a closing day before we closed for the summer vacation. So on the Sunday, they had party online, and it was such a successful party. All the parents had really, appreciated us, that what kind of ideas we are getting. We had yoga online. We had inter-school online. This time, Trishna is our hallmark of our school. We had it online. We had a live chat. So children, nothing is impossible. So in my dictionary, at least this word impossible is not there. I always make it into I am possible. So let's look for the school opening. I understand it is a big challenge. Some protocols have to be kept in mind. SOPs, standard operating procedures, have to be kept in mind. The school is going to work on that. So we want the prefectorial board to work with the faculty to ensure that 3 things. SMS. What is the first S for? Sanitization. M for mask. And the third S is social distancing. So these SMS is going to be the 3 factors which is going to help us in running the school. Yes, there will be some anticipation. There will be some anxiety. Parents may not agree to send the children to school. So we need their cooperation. We need their help. We are going to speak to the Suraksha committee also, and take help from them, that they have to reach out to parents to help them understand that this difficult situation also we can run the school. Of course, there will be no normal. Cannot have the same kind of schooling. Maybe we may be running different types of schooling from now on. We may be not running the way we have been running for so many years. So our way of schooling will be that it will be blended learning, as everybody said, blended teaching learning process.
Yeah, blended.
So some classes will be running in the proper physically, and some will be online, or maybe we'll split the class into 2. We are working
odd and even.
Yes, odd and even. We are working in different ways. What is the best suitable to us? The SOPs are being delivered by the HRD minister. The WHO has really come up with wonderful SOPs. We are looking into all this. We are going to make our own SOPs. For this only, we had asked help from prefectorial board. Lot of children have spoken, and these ideas are going to be used for making our own SOPs. So cyber crime is one of the biggest challenges we are facing. There are children who are going through cyber bullying, boys and girls both. So children, you have to be careful what you wear when you go to online teaching, online classes, whether it is school teaching or your coaching. So you should not be, girls, you should not be wearing anything which is calling some bad attraction. You should not chat on various platforms to write something which is going to boomerang on us. So keep in mind all this. Whenever you are online, you should be posting things which should not cause different types of feedback, and unknown people or strangers can be after you. So these points have to be kept in mind, as Anjali Kharbanda ma'am, our vice principal, has spoken, that cyber crime is the biggest challenge we are facing right now. So I will suggest to VP ma'am that there is a wonderful handbook has come out from CBSE that can be posted to the children, and the children can go through that, and they can understand what are the do's and don'ts when you're going for it. Whenever we are in the room of any kind of online classes, keep in mind, children, that you should open your video. You should be formally dressed. You should not wear very informal clothes. Formally dressed you should be, and you should mute if you're not a speaker. You should unmute when you are a speaker, and video has to be shown to the teacher whenever she is taking the attendance, so that this online attendance is going to be marked as official attendance, because CBSE is also told that online classes attendance is going to be marked, because 75% attendance, how are you going to show to the CBSE? So this online attendance is going to be counted. So please tell all the classmates that online attendance will be marked. So be present. And not only once, the teachers will be taking 3 times, so that we come to know that no child has gone out. Third point is, do not reveal these IDs, what the teachers are giving it to you. They have to be kept in mind that these IDs are meant only for the class. It's not meant for outsiders, because initially we had some outsiders entering the classroom, and we were finding it very, very difficult to control that. And do not post anything which is not correct. And don't write always your name and your parents' name when you're making the ID. Otherwise, fancy names are given in your ID, which is not correct. Because right now also I'm seeing the head boy is showing some other name which is not his name. So these are to be avoided. So these are going to help you in understanding that now the new normal is going to be online. Even colleges are going to run online classes. It is not only schools. It is online classes are going to be the normal. So even e-marketing is going to be there. It is online marketing is going to be there. Everything is going to be online. So people are going to avoid partying, going for crowded areas, going to malls, at least for 1 or 2 years. So we have to come out of this. And it is not that this virus is teaching us. This is our tradition. We need to keep ourselves always neat and clean. We need to keep our body clean. This is what I used to always joke. I used to tell in the assembly also, how many of the children have taken bath. This was my common question to children, that did you take bath today or not? So this is what we are going to ask you. Have you distanced yourself? Have you sanitized yourself? These are the questions we are going to ask when the school opens. So I'm sure we'll come out of these problems, these challenges, and we will surely come out fighting out of it. And as a country too, we are doing much better than European and US and all. That is why because we follow the ancient traditions. The ancient traditions, like wearing the outside shoes, we used to keep it outside. We never used to bring it inside. So these are the things which will really help us to avoid and to catch the infection. And we have to live with COVID. It is not going to be for one day. It is going to be for maybe for many years. So we have to live with COVID. And how do we prevent ourselves from this thing? By increasing our immunity. Our immunity has to be increased. So with these words, I think we are running short of time. I'm handing over to Singh ma'am, and she can give the concluding remarks. And she has been a wonderful moderator.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, ma'am. Very wisely said. SMS is not what you earlier said, that I will SMS to you, but it is sanitize, mask, and social distancing. This is the new normal now. And of course, I personally feel that we would love to teach you across you all sitting in front of us. But then, of course, this is a stopgap arrangement which we have made, because uninterrupted flow of education must go on. It must go on, and with all these goodness or whatever inspiration we get from around the situations where we are, we will all come out winners. And I thank each one of you, those who joined as viewers, and those who joined, all the in charges, those who joined, and each one of you for joining and having such a wonderful town hall with NK Bagrodia Public School children, prefectorial board. Wish you all the best and hope that we all stay healthy and happy always. Thank you to each one of you once again.
One point before we leave,
Yes,
I will take suggestions from each of the children present here today. Please send on the chat box and send it to us so that Suchita ma'am will, use this to make our own protocols.
And even the scripts which you people have spoken can forward it to Suchita ma'am, so that we can compile a complete detail. I request each one of you to forward the scripts as well.
Yeah, for our own SOPs.
Yeah, for our own SOPs. Thank you so much for giving all those valuable points, and thanks to each one of you. Thanks to Anjali Kharbanda, and thanks to Suchita for holding all of us together like this. Suchita, you can come on the screen. We can thank you, and let's all have a good day.
We all
thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Ma'am, no need
good
to
day,
no need to say thanks, ma'am.
Yeah,
thank you, Suchita. Thank you, Suchita. Very well done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Thank you so
everybody.
much for giving us
Thanks.
this platform.
Yeah, thanks, children. Thanks to each one of you. Bye.
Thank
Good
you.
night.